nervous.
Les voy a compartir lo que me ha pasado en mi vida.
I'm going to share what has happened in my life.
De que cuando yo usaba droga,
Of when I used to use drugs.
antes de que naciera mi hija Diana,
Before my daughter Diana was born,
yo ya usaba droga.
I was already using drugs.
Y ahorita ella tiene 18 años.
And now she's 18.
Yo siempre quería dejar la droga.
I always wanted to stop using drugs.
No podía.
I could not.
Siempre hablaba con Dios y le decía que...
I always talked with God to remove that feeling.
Pero pues no se lo decía de corazón.
But I never said it from my heart.
Tenía problemas con mi esposa
I
también,
had problems with my wife as well,
con mis hijos.
with my children.
A veces salía del trabajo y lo primero que hacía era agarrar y llamarle a la persona que me vendía la droga.
When I would get out of work, I would call the guy that would sell me the drugs.
Casi eran $40 que le compraba y me pasaba comprando cervezas.
It was like $40 a day, and I'd also go buy beers.
Iba y me encerraban en la recámara.
And I would lock myself in the bedroom.
Y mis hijas siempre tocándome la puerta ahí que les comprara algo de comer.
And then my daughters would be knocking on the door and saying, "Daddy, I'm hungry."
Y no me importaba, lo único que me importaba era yo.
And I didn't care about them. All I cared about was me.
Fui teniendo problemas con mi esposa, que ella me decía que ya estaba cansada de que estaba yo tomando y drogándome.
I had problems with my wife. She was fed up with me living this lifestyle of drinking and using drugs.
Ella me decía, dice, pues si no dejas ese vicio, si no nos quieres a nosotros, entonces que nos íbamos a separar.
So she would say, if you're not going to leave that lifestyle and you don't want us, then we're going to be separated.
Y yo le decía, sí, ya.
And I said, yeah.
Y hasta que una vez logré, ella se fue.
And so she left.
Y yo la busqué y
And I was looking for her.
que regresara y me dijo que no.
And I would tell her to come back to me, and she said, no, if you don't get help, it's not going to happen.
Y ya yo busqué Alcohólicos Anónimos, busqué.
So I went to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Le traje un papel de que ya me había ido a anotar ahí.
I showed her a paper stating that I had signed up.
Pero sigue igual.
I continued to live the same lifestyle.
Y después tuvimos más problemas.
And afterwards we continued to have more problems.
Hasta incluso pues quise quitarme la vida.
I also wanted to commit suicide.
Aquí tengo
I have right here on my hand, I have right here the mark.
Aquí tengo la prueba de
I have right here
agarré una navaja.
that I got a razor.
Me quería corté pues.
I cut myself.
Pero pues Dios es tan grande.
God is so great
Está conmigo.
that He was with me. And
perdí mi trabajo por medio de la droga también porque pues a veces me salía del trabajo.
I lost my job because of my drug abuse. I would get out of work
No llegaba a trabajar.
and I wouldn't even arrive to work.
Hice muchas cosas malas.
I did a lot of bad things.
Trabajé con mi hermano Ángel.
I worked with my brother Angel.
También yo le robé a él.
I also stole from my very brother.
Todo por la droga.
Everything because of drugs.
Yo tenía llaves del taller.
I had keys to the business, the tire shop.
Una vez llegué.
One time I came at night
Abrí el container y saqué herramienta cara.
and I opened a container where there was expensive tools.
Que la fui y la empeñé por $20 nomás para comprarme algo de.
And I went and took it to a pawn shop just to at least get $20 to hook me up, with some drugs.
Que valía como $2,000.
And these tools were worth like $2,000, and I was happy with $20.
Y después, pues ya perdí mi trabajo también, ya no tenía trabajo.
Afterwards, I lost my job. I didn't have
Me
work.
corrieron del trabajo, nos corrieron, como ya no pude pagar la renta, nos corrieron del apartamento.
The apartment that we were living in, they kicked us out because I didn't pay the rent.
Teníamos dos carros, uno que mi hermano me había firmado, me sacó un carro en el dealer.
We had two cars, one that my brother had signed for me from the dealer.
Tenía un carro que mi esposa también sacó.
I had a car that my wife also had from the dealer.
Todo lo perdimos.
We lost everything.
Vivíamos en un cuarto.
We all lived in one room.
En un cuarto nomás mis 4 hijos, mis 3 hijas, mi hijo. yo, mi esposa.
In one room it was myself, my wife, my 3 daughters, and my son.
Y hasta que tuve problemas también ahí donde vivíamos,
And I also had problems there where we were living.
yo me fui a vivir a casas abandonadas.
I went to go live in the abandoned houses.
Y yo le decía a mi esposa que regresara, ella me dijo que no, que hasta que yo cambiara,
And I would tell my wife to come back to me, and she'd say no until you change.
que nos juntáramos otra vez, y ella me dijo que no.
I would tell her, let's get back together, and she'd say no.
Ella me dijo que luchara por mi familia.
And she said she'd fight for the family.
Y pues hasta que caí en la calle, llegué a dormir en los parking de los trailers.
And so I would, till I fell living in the parking lot where the trailers were,
Y hasta que pues decidí abrir el corazón a Dios.
until I decided to open my heart to God.
Y le entregué mi vida.
I gave my life to Him.
Y de ahí,
And from that day,
ustedes ya ven todas las bendiciones.
you see all the blessings. God has restored my life.
Me devolvió lo que perdí, porque no me lo quitó.
He returned to me all that the devil stole.
Me devolvió lo principal, mi familia.
The first thing He returned was principally my family.
Me devolvió mi hogar.
He returned my home.
El carro, nos devolvió un carro y yo le
He
pedí.
gave us a car that I asked Him. We got it back.
Y lo principal, el amor a Él.
And the most important principle, the love that I have towards Him.
Y su paz.
And His peace.
Ahora
Now,
le doy gracias pues, que tengo lo que siempre he querido.
I thank God because I have what I've always wanted.
El amor a Él.
Love to Him.
Y no nomás ahora hay que darle gracias, no nomás ahora le doy gracias,
And not just today do I thank Him,
no cada instante de mi vida.
but every instant of my life.
Y que, o sea, no pasa que si le van a pedir algo,
And I encourage you, if you're going to ask God anything,
crean en Él,
believe in Him,
que lo pidan de corazón.
that you ask it from your heart.
Porque yo cuando le pedía que me quitara la droga,
Because when I would tell God to take the drug abuse away from me,
que ya lo quería dejar, yo nomás le decía aquí,
I didn't mean it from my heart. It was just mouthing it. I didn't really want to,
pero se lo pedía de corazón.
I never asked Him from my heart.
Y todo lo que queramos hay que pedírselo de corazón.
And everything that we want, we need to ask from our heart
Y tener fe.
and have faith.
Y pues le doy gracias a Dios por todo.
So I thank God for everything.
Por ustedes,
For
pastores,
you, pastors,
por los miembros
for the members,
de aquí de la iglesia,
of this church,
ministros Trini,
Minister Trini,
y a mi hermano,
my brother Miguel,
y a todos.
and my sister-in-law, and everybody.
Y que Dios los bendiga.
And God bless you.